discretion on you. She don't tell me no when I'm touching on her. H-Town nigga love a with her. Baby come here, I'm a grip on ya. Y'all niggas ain't got nothing to say. Oh, what you gonna say?
Okay, we'll turn that down just a bit. That is music from the incomparable Rifty Beats. If you're a streamer, two things you can do for me. If you like to stream with copyright-free music, go to Rifty Beats on Spotify or YouTube, follow, and I would suggest sending him a message, letting him know that you're going to use his music, but he does provide music for streamers to use for their streams copyright-free. Second thing is follow these socials that you see on the screen and become a part of the Edge 2 Gaming community, Edge 2 Otaku community. Everything is under Edge 2 Gaming, even though there is an Edge 2 Gaming and Edge 2 Otaku. Edge 2 Otaku is where you can find things like this. Weekly One Piece coverage, whether it's brief, full spoilers, TCB scans, or the live read, along with anime video games such as Fist of the North Star, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach, Jump Force, a lot of shit. So today, without further ado, we got the full spoilers for you via Pewpiece, and I want to go ahead and dive right into them. Thank you guys for joining me. Again, your place for anime and manga needs right here at Edge 2 Otaku, but at Edge 2 Gaming, you get all of the things that you love: video game streaming and reactions. What's up, Vader? I have omelets here, so of course Vader's going to be near me ready to eat. Let's see. I'll put those posts out later because I'm going to stream one more time before I go to bed, before work. But we got our full spoilers, so let's not waste any time. Let me get into those with you guys. Make sure to give a shout out to our sponsors. They're down in the corner right over here. Emmy Eats Ramen. If you love ramen but you hate sodium and high carbs, you can have the world's first plant-based, high protein, low carb, low sodium ramen. Use promo code EDGE2G to get $5 off your purchase at checkout. And if you play the Nintendo Switch, all your Nintendo Switch accessories, thumb grips, cases, covers, protection, all that shit you can find at switcheries.com. When you go to switcheries.com, use EDGE10 to get 10% off your purchase at checkout. All right, so we got the full spoilers via Pewpiece. I'm going to have to zoom in on these. But this is a 17-page chapter titled Warriors Generation. The reader request in the cover is Usopp waiting to capture some beetles some beetles with honey on his nose, on the tip of his nose. Chopper hiding behind a tree he looks the honey on Usopp's nose while licking his lips. So he's looking at the honey while Usopp is licking his lips. Chapter starts with Dory and Brogy and Domi-Reversed Giants attacking the western village in an amazing double page. Then we see Zoro arrives and starts jumping on the Giants' heads because they're so much bigger than everybody else. That way he won't get flanked by the Giants and won't be affected by Domi-Reversed. Now, we don't know if Domi-Reversed will affect the Straw Hat. So far, when we have seen it, it has only affected those that live on the islands in which Domi-Reversed is issued. So God Valley, we had the Davy D clan, which was all of Davy D Zebek, Davy D Teach, aka Blackbeard's family. Now we're on Elbath with the Giants, and last time we saw this was with Harold. Now we see with Dory and Brogy. This is their homeland. Will it affect Saul? Would it affect Ida? I don't know. But just to be safe, Zoro jumps on their heads so he won't be flanked. When Zoro reaches the center of the group of Domi-Reversed Giant, he jumps even higher and attacks them with a new move, Santoryu Ogi Rokudo no Tsuiji, which is 3-sword style. Secret technique, crossing the 6 paths. Again, we see the 6 paths here, or a reference to the moon, which we've seen in One Piece several times, but typically from those of celestial blood. Then, in another incredible double page, this is our second double page, Dory and Brogy attack Zoro together, but Zoro uses his swords to propel himself out of the way, just like he did with King on Wano. Dory and Brogy end up slashing one another. The scene calls back to their clash in Little Garden, but here their attacks cut parts of their bodies, but because they are Domi-Reverses, they heal. Now, this is the thing I'm wondering. After the Domi-Reverse, or with it, because when we first saw the Domi-Reverse, Brogy got his arm shot off by Gimu prior to that. So when it did show his arm, it showed it, but this part here was missing. So we just got arm, invisible shit, and then hand floating. But let me say this. If Domi-Reverse does heal, and say his hand is back together, if we see it in this chapter, because it could be Oda just forgetting, but does it heal all injuries? And Imu didn't care at that point in time. So Dory and Brogy cut each other. We cut to Brook. He's still tied up, but he's crawling on the ground until he reaches Gunko, kind of like a snake or a worm. There we go. Which I thought, I don't know how many arrows he had on him. I thought he could just, wiggle his bones or turn them the same direction if they were just like one arrow. But I think he's like completely wrapped up. From what I've seen of the early scans, which you can find on the Discord page, go to twitch.tv/edge2gaming, click on the Discord link, go there, join, and everything under One Piece, the voice of all things, brief spoilers, full spoilers. I'm trying to think of what I have everything named under, but they're there. So he slinks over, and Brook calls out to Gunko. He calls her Princess Shuri because he thinks Gunko must be related to the Princess Shuri it must be related to Princess Shuri because Princess Shuri should be 80 years old at this time. So it's not her, but a relative. Angry, Brook says, that face, the blue hair, he says, that face, the blue hair, irises of different colors, and having something to do with the Holy Land. Not to mention your love for my music. Yes, everything matches. Right, Princess Shuri? I don't want to remember you in the slightest, you father slayer. The man whose life you took, my benefactor to whom I owe so much. After hearing Brook, Gunko briefly comes back to her senses, which, even though this isn't Brook playing music, which I thought his music would pop her out of this, it's him talking to her. He did bring Gunko back. So he says that. After hearing Brook, she comes back to her senses, but Imu is not willing to let Gunko regain control of her body because Imu's a bitch. Imu can't leave the house, so he's got to have his minions out there in the streets. Gunko, Imu, Gunko, you don't tell Mu that you're beginning to remember things. And Gunko, run, Brook. Gunko manages to free Brook and the Straw Hat crew from the arrows, but Imu takes control again and makes Gunko attack Brook. At the same time, Sanji reaches Nami's group, and they're all released now from Gunko's arrows. I guess Robin, too. Nope, but Robin is unable to move because she is still trapped by Sommer's vine. So I do like the fact that we had two different Knights of Gods subdue the Straw Hats, and Oda's remembered. Robin took on Sommers in a badass way. She did a Shadow Clone Jutsu. She had the wings. She tried to do a love bomb dive, and she was captured by him, while the other Straw Hats were already captured by Gunko. But she's tied up, so she's still trapped. Cut to the giant kids that reach Sommers and the ships. The kids' parents, Ripley, and other giants catch up to them, but are blocked by evil Nika MMA. Now, the last time we read this, they said it was like one of the mom MMA. It's like a big mom figure, but it is Devil Fruit, Nika Fruit MMA. Now, is this good Nika? Is this bad Nika? We don't know. However, they all bravely attack Nika MMA together, since they are the warrior generation too. So everybody of that age, and I forget sometimes that Dory and Brogy are the giant pirates. Like after Harold stepped down, they stepped up, and Ripley was a part of that crew, they being the oldest and Ripley there, but there is that generation of warriors still there on Elbaf. The kids are the first generation, I think, just are fully schooled and not warriors. But Nika MMA resists the attack, and it's now the one who attacks the kids' parents. So they attack, it resists it knocks them on their ass. But then Gerd and Goldberg and Road are close to the area where the children and the parents are, but they won't arrive in time to help them, even if they run. So this is where they get ready to do it. We read this last time. So Gerd and Goldberg decide to attack from a distance. So I guess Road kept running, or he was behind them. But they decide to attack from a distance to defeat the monster. Goldberg and Berg use the same attack pose as Dory and Brogy, the Koukoku Sovereignty, which we saw boom on Little Garden, and then again on the kid pirates to demolish their ship. And then Gerd says, "Let's do this, Goldberg." Goldberg says, "Got it." Gerd and Goldberg both say double commanding, but then Road says, "Hold on, I shall join you as well. We shall rescue you momentarily, my dear brother." So he has to be the one to save Bjorn. Gerd, Goldberg, and Road triple commanding Koukoku Sovereignty, roaring nations. All three of them jettison through the air, hitting the giant Nika through the core and launching him out of the fucking way of attacking the kids and the parents. Then Gerd, Goldberg, and Road combine their powers and use an epic attack that pierces through the Nika's MMA's body and sends him flying. In the last page of the chapter, we see that Nika MMA is blown towards St. Sommers, but he uses his spike club to blow it away from him. However, Nika MMA ends up falling on the ship that was going to be used to kidnap the children and sinks it. The chapter ends, and I love the way Oda did this with St. Sommers' shocking face, and it stays the same. Sommers says, "It falls on the ship." Oh shit. End of the chapter. No break next week. So again, no break. We're getting 1174 next Monday. Saint Sommers destroyed the ship. Predictions for next week. Gimu's gonna find out about the ship. Gonna be super pissed because they can't take the kids unless they steal a ship from Elbaf. So this redirects the mission to not only abducting the kids and destroying the library and the school, but getting a ship from Elbaf as well. Can they do it? I don't know. Zoro going in and attacking all the giants from the top and slashing the heads and making, like, infusing his hockey. Because I don't know what, we just made it up to Skypiea. I mean, we just made it to the first stop in Skypiea, the first little island. And Zoro has had this way of deducing and figuring out things and how to do them in the arc. So if he's learning how to improve his COC to do, like, death damage and hurt fucking Emu, he could be doing it at this point in time above the giants, slashing their heads. How much is that going to hurt them? I think it's going to slow them down quite a bit, and it's going to allow Sanji to go to the other group that is free now and start working with them and get them caught up to speed. Robin still captured. I don't know who's going to save Robin. Who is taking on Sommers? I think because Robin is still captured, maybe Sanji sets everybody else up and stays to fight Somers, because I do think Sanji's going to fight Somers. They both are agents of love. They both have this weird love quirk, so it just makes sense for them to fight. Killingham can be taken on by the other Straw Hats. Gunko is going to be a little bit of Brook and Luffy and Loki, and the new Giant Pirates versus the Giant Pirates. So I think that's how our standoffs are going to go. These are only the full spoilers. We still have the TCB scans to come out. Once we do the TCB scans, it'll be the entire full read of the chapter as written TCB style, and then on Sunday we will get the official Shonen Jump manga and read it from you there. And remember, I take time in the day to listen to the native Japanese speaker when they talk and break down the manga to give more context and nuance to what's being said, because there's so many different ways that this is brought to life and translated for us Westerners or people that aren't Japanese. We need that subtle context to know this style pun, this is Japanese etiquette, or this is culturally relevant, or this is the katakanja or the kanji combined this way to make this word, and this has this meaning. So there's a lot to it, but we will get into it. Thank you guys for joining me so much here at Edge 2 Otaku. Go on over to Edge 2 Gaming and subscribe, follow there, help out both channels. The more the community grows, the better I can reach those of the same ilk, because we had a huge crew, 700 plus videos, everything like that, and unfortunately got deleted. It's fine. You guys are out there. I'm finding more people. So come into the community, be a part of the Bailey Nation, Edge 2 Gaming, Edge 2 Otaku. Thank you guys so much. And check out the podcast I'm on, the Pod OKC. Also has a Twitch and a YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much. I'm Elijah 5000. I will catch you in the next video, which will be the TCB scans for One Piece, and we will get even more details for this fucking amazing chapter that Zoro is leading. Thank you guys so much. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.